think belongs to the Bhorolomukh family. Their origins also can be traced back to Bhorolomukh. Poroshuram Borua, who died in 1816, then Poroshuram's son Holiram Dhekial Fukan and Jagyaram Khargoria Fukan. Earlier he was Holiram Borua, of course Poroshuram Borua's children would be Holiram Borua and Jagyaram Borua, but Chandrakanta Sinha made him a Dhekial Fukan. So he became Holiram Dhekial Fukan, and Jagyaram was appointed Khargoria Fukan. So Jagyaram Khargoria Fukan. Both of them are very interesting personalities. Holiram was a very conservative kind of man, and he didn't learn English or Persian. Persian, of course, you can't think of learning Persian. You can't also think of learning English as well. So Sanskrit was as if his mother tongue, and he also wrote in Sanskrit, Kamakhya Jatra Paddhati. So the most important contribution by Holiram was his Aham Buronji, 1829. 1829, earlier people heard about the first part of Aham Buronji in Bengali, 1829, but it was Jatin Bhattacharya, he was a professor of Bengali in Cotton College. He got the 3 other parts of the book in Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's collection. So later in the 60s, he brought out these 4 parts as 1 volume, and it was published by Mokshoda Pustakalaya. Jatin Bhattacharya brought it out. Holiram Dhekial Fukan's Aham Buronji, a magnificent work. It was the first history book that introduced Assam to the rest of the world. And it was because Jagyaram Khargoria Fukan was a Brahmo. He was an active Brahmo. Brahmo was a very popular movement in Assam. There was Brahmo Samaj everywhere, in Guwahati, in Dhubri, in Nagaon. Even Nagaon, Jokhalabandha Hotra, Padmahas Goswami was an active Brahmo. Here, Gunabhiram Borua became a Brahmo. He became a Brahmo in 1869 at Dhubri. Here also many Brahmos were there. Anyway, Jagyaram Khargoria Fukan was one person who was very close to Ram Mohan Rai. For full 2 years, he was with Ram Mohan Rai, attending his prayer meetings and helping him in his walks. And it was because of Jagyaram Khargoria Fukan that his brothers Aham Buronji got immediate publicity. Soon after its publication, it was reviewed in various journals. And on the basis of these reviews, even German reviews were also brought out. His book were reviewed in German magazines. So it was one text which introduced Assam to the rest of the world, Holiram Dhekial Fukan's Aham Buronji. Jagyaram Khargoria Fukan was a very interesting personality. Actually, it was because of their connection with Hadira Choki that they had connection with Murshidabad. And Murshidabad, the most important personality in Murshidabad was Jagat Seth, the banker of the world, Jagat Seth, the banker of the world. So they had connection with Jagat Seth. And whenever Jagyaram went to Calcutta, he visited Murshidabad, and he also acted as more or less a chartered accountant of Jagat Seth. He had to examine his financial records and so on and so forth. Jagyaram Khargoria Fukan contributed an amount of 1,000 rupees for the establishment of Cotton Collegiate School. In those days, it was called Guwahati School, 1834 or 1835. Contributed 1,000 rupees. And other things, okay, he lived in style, and he also drank a good deal, and was fond of meat. Anyway, Holiram would never have been able to think of all this. So Holiram was one kind of character, Jagyaram another, and their family. Holiram's son was Anandaram Dhekial Fukan. Then daughter Padmavati Devi Fukanani, Radhika Ram Dhekial Fukan. If the Vice Chancellor of Cotton University is here, we wrote an article on Radhika Ram Dhekial Fukan that was published in the History of Science magazine some 3 years ago. We tried to make use of some data. Actually, Professor Dekar, the Vice Chancellor of Cotton University, took pains to get the records from Heidelberg, and we made use of them. Radhikaram Dhekial Phukan, who died very early at the age of 42, he was one of the pioneering chemists of the whole country, not Assam, but the whole country. And in an article earlier published in an English periodical called Original Scientific Research in Bengal, because Assam was also part of Bengal, he was named as one of the most important contributors. Till this day, his papers are quoted. Radhikaram Dhekial Phukan's papers are quoted. So Anandaram Dhekial Phukan, Radhikaram Dhekial Phukan, Padmavati Devi Phukanoni, she is one of the great Assamese writers, first novelist. Yeah. Then Annadaram Dhekial Phukan, he died very young. He was not even 30 when he died. Along with Manik Chandra Borua, he formed this partnership, Borua Phukan Brothers, that published Hemchandra Borua's Assam News. Then Annadaram Dhekial Phukan, Boloram Phukan. Boloram Khargoria Phukan. Boloram Phukan was the son of Jaggaram Khargoria Phukan. A great man, writer. He wrote, he also translated things from Bengali into Assamese. And what is most important is that everyone knows that it was in the 30s of the 19th century that Assamese was replaced by Bengali. Yeah. And it again came to be rehabilitated in the 70s of the 19th century. Just before the official rehabilitation, Boloram Phukan convened a meeting demanding rehabilitation of Assamese. He convened a meeting that was held in the Cotton Collegiate School. And Kondorpeshwar Sinha was invited to this meeting. He had to preside over the meeting. This is something very important. You all know Kondorpeshwar Sinha. Actually, it was Moniram Dewan who wanted to make him the king of Assam. And Moniram's conspiracy was out at the time, and Captain Holroyd hanged him. And he had to pay for his conspiracy and all that. And since Kondorpeshwar Sinha was also in league with Moniram, he was a little boy at the time, he was sent to Burdwan. And I think it was in 1860 that Kondorpeshwar Sinha was allowed to come here. And from 60 to 80, he spent his time at Guwahati. I have some old records which say that Kondorpeshwar Sinha attended some Brahmo Samaj meetings. At least I know of one meeting which was attended by Hemchandra Borua and Kondorpeshwar Sinha together. Hemchandra Borua of Hemco fame. Hemchandra Borua was born in 1835 and he passed away in 1896. And I don't exactly know when Kondorpeshwar Sinha was born, but then they were contemporaries. I think Kondorpeshwar would be junior to Hemchandra Borua. Okay, it's very interesting to note that both of them attended the Brahmo Samaj meetings. There is a very interesting name, Prafullabala Chaudhurani. If someone is there, I think he can show us a slide. Slide number 14. A very interesting lady. 14. Prafullabala Devi Chaudhurani. No. 14. Number 14. Fourteen. Okay. Yeah, this is 14. Please look at her. A beautiful woman. and a princess. Chandrakanta Sinha's son was Ghanakanta Sinha. Ghanakanta Sinha's son was Keshav Sinha. She is Keshav Sinha's daughter. So she is an Ahom princess. One of the most interesting characters. Okay. It is because no one talks about her. I wanted to show you her portrait. This is an Ahom princess. She was the president of Ahom Pradeshik Mohila Samiti. And the speech she had delivered as the president of the Ahom Pradeshik Mohila Samiti in Jorhat in March 1929. This is a burning testimony not only to her own brilliance, but also to the kind of impact that Gandhiji had on a section of Assamese women. Brilliant. Okay, I have the whole speech with me. I can read out some lines. Very important, very interesting. And I think one should read it again and again. This was Prafullabala Devi Chaudharani. Later, she was married to Nagendra Narayan Chaudhary, the great short story writer who became president of Assam Sahitya Sabha. He was a Jamindar Metspara. So Ahom princess married to a coach Jamindar, Nagendra Narayan Chaudhary. And they were also instrumental in the publication of the famous Assamese periodical, Abahan. Actually, it was Dr. Dinonath Sharma who once approached Nagendra Narayan Chaudhary for help. And okay, both of them were of great help. Even they kept going to Calcutta to lend him support. And Abahan is one of the journals where women got a rare kind of importance. It was because of Prafullabala Chaudharani. And as I suggested, her presidential address itself is such an interesting document. Okay, supporting widow marriage or widow remarriage. Then support to the Sarda Act of restriction of child marriage, 1929. So without naming anyone, she has argued in favor of these new ideas. I'll just try to read out a few lines if I have the text with me. Aham Mohila Honmiloner Dityo Barhik Odhivesoner Sabanetrir Obhibason. We all know about the child marriage restraint bill, which became Sarda Act 1929. Then Sir Hari Singh Gaur, his Age of Consent Bill, 1929. Hari Singh Gaur, he was a great man. Hari Singh Gaur, he was, I think, Vice Chancellor of Delhi University. If I am not mistaken, he was the founder, Vice Chancellor of Delhi University. He was also founder, Vice Chancellor of Sagar University, which he was a great lawyer. He was a great educationist. He was also Vice Chancellor of Nagpur University. He was a Vice Chancellor of 3 universities in different times. Hari Singh Gaur, Age of Consent Bill. So age of consent means you must have consent from the bride herself. Okay, it is not your birthright to marry someone. She must give you consent. And the age, I think 16 was the age limit suggested there. And if we read the debates now in the Imperial Legislative Council, we'll find that even great nationalist leaders like Madan Mohan Malabha and Bal Gangadhar Tilak opposed the bill. They said, okay, it is an undue interference on Hindu customs and religion. This gentleman, he was trying to do this, Haribilas Sarda. And it was under the presidency of Prafullabala Devi Chaudharani that adopted 16 resolutions, if I am not mistaken. I read this document long ago in the Historical Antiquarian Department Library. Eta koi 16 prostab teoloke lole. 16 different resolutions were adopted. The first thing is support to the Sarda Act 1929. Support to the Sarda Act when there was opposition from all parts, from the south to the north. People like Madan Mohan Balabbo opposing it. In the south, there were very vocal people. They said, okay, Hinduism is in peril because the bride must be married at the age of 10 or 9. And the difference doesn't matter. The bride is some 9 years old or 10 years old, and the bridegroom could be 35 or 40 or 50. So it was at the time that the second conference of the Assam Pradeshik Mohila Samiti said that the difference between the bride and the bridegroom, the age difference between them should not exceed 25. That means earlier things were worse. And another very important resolution they passed was entry of women into Cotton College. Till then, there was no girl student here in Cotton College. And it was at the initiative of Prafulla Bala Chaudhurani that they had to adopt a resolution. And she was not only satisfied with adopting the resolution, she entrusted the work of coordinating with Cotton College authorities to Rajabala Das. And Rajabala Das, she was also a great lady. Finally, Cotton College had to allow the entry of girl student, and the first girl student was Sujata Roy, the P.C. Rai's daughter, Sujata Roy. Later, she became Sujata Chaudhary, who became principal Lady Brabourne College, Calcutta. So these were the things that happened. Prafulla Bala Chaudhurani. So from the royal family at Ujan Bazar, we have these two names. Kondar Pesar Sinha, we'll remember him, not only because of his earlier activities, but because of his activities in Guwahati during the period 1860 to 1880. First, his presidency of the Cotton College school meeting, then his attendance at the Brahmo Samaj meetings, and so on and so forth. Then Prafulla Bala Devi Chaudhurani, because of these observations. So I earlier talked to you about the Vorolomukh family. The Vorolomukh family, Bolaram Fukan, Kaliram Borua. Kaliram Borua, he was, if I am not mistaken, he was educated at Bishop Cotton's boys' school. I think it was in Jitendranath Bujor Borua's book I first got this important information, that he was a student of Bishop School. The Bishop School, that is, there is just one Bishop School, Bishop Cotton School, there in Calcutta. And it has its notable alumni, including Raja Ramana and others. Even I think Nandan Nilekani was a student of, in Laki Ali was also a student there. Anyway, our Kaliram Borua was also an alumnus of Bishop Cotton School, but he couldn't continue his studies in Kolkata after qualifying in his entrance examination because of difficulties on the home front. He was editor of Assam, 1894 to 1902, a very important Assamese English bilingual weekly. Published a number of books, including Shankardeva's Kirtana. Maintained a Sanskrit toll in his premises at Vorolomukh, with Mahamohopadhyay Dhireshwara Sajya as the principal. So in the compound itself, there was this Sanskrit toll established, and a great man like Mahamohopadhyay Dhireshwara Sajya was brought in as its principal. Mahamohopadhyay also helped him in proofreading and all that. So he was doing these two works together. And finally, Tarun Ram Fukan. So everyone knows about Tarun Ram Fukan, 1877, 1939. Then, okay, I'll show you another thing. This is slide number 15, if someone is there. Slide number 15. 15. 15, 15, 15. You all know Thacker and Spink and Company. Thacker and Spink and Company brought out a number of important books, including The History of Assam by Edward Gate. 15. So this 1916 Thacker's Indian Directory, sorry, it is 19. There is a list of Rajas, Nawabs, Thakurs, etc. Rajas, Nawabs, Thakurs, noblemen, and the principal Zamindars and Talukdars, other than the ruling chiefs. This one. Towards the end, you have these three names. These three names. They are called Rajas, Nawabs, Thakurs, noblemen, and the principal Zamindars and Talukdars, other than the ruling chiefs. It is there in 1916 Thacker's Indian Directory. And these names are number 1, Tarun Ram Phukan, Zamindar of Guwahati, Kamrup, Assam; Rai Sahab Siddhananda Chaudhary, Zamindar of Guwahati, Kamrup, Assam; Lieutenant Colonel Jaldur Ali Ahmed, Zamindar of Guwahati, Kamrup, Assam. These three names. Rajas, Nawabs, Thakurs, noblemen, and principal Zamindars and Talukdars, other than ruling chiefs. This is something very interesting. We never knew that they were Rajas and Nawabs, but then obviously they were landowners. So Chidananda Chaudhary was also a very important man. We know about Jalnur Ali Ahmed and Tarun Ram Phukan, but then Chidananda Chaudhary was a very important man, and I'll show you his portrait. This is slide number 7. Slide number 7. Chidananda Chaudhary. Slide 7. A bearded man, Chidananda Chaudhary. There was this Chidananda Press, which published this one, Chidananda Chaudhary, a very important man. And it is not for nothing that he is called a nobleman or Nawab. He was the owner of this Chidananda Press, which was one of the 6 printing presses listed in the 1870s documents. There were 6 different printing presses in the 70s of the 19th century. Assam Secretariat Press, then Dharma Prakash Jantra at Majuli, established by Dattadev Goswami. Chidananda Press, Baptist Mission Press. There was one press at, in Sylhet. Sylhet was then a part of Assam. And then Goalpara, Hito Sadhini Press. These were the 6 important printing presses of the times. And Chidananda Press, one of the most important. So he was the owner of the Chidananda Press. And, I had some other documents. Then his son was Bibhavananda Chaudhary. Bibhavananda Chaudhary was the son of Chidananda Chaudhary. He is important for us because he was in the first batch of Cotton College students in 1901. Bibhavananda Chaudhary. And his batchmates were Muhammad Sadullah, Girish Chandra Rai Chaudhary, elder brother of Ambika Giri Rai Chaudhary. So these were his batchmates. Bibhavananda Chaudhary. Unfortunately, he died very young, at the age of 31 or 32. Bibhavananda Chaudhary's portrait is also there with me. Slide number 5. Slide 5. 5 is Bibhavananda Chaudhary. This is Bibhavananda Chaudhary. He died very young, belonged to the first batch of Cotton College students. Then slide number 8, he is also an important personality, and most of you perhaps knew him in person. He is Girijananda Chaudhary. Now that Girijananda Chaudhary University has come up, we should know him. This is Girijananda Chaudhary. These were interesting personalities of the past. I just took their names because of their importance. Chidananda Chaudhary, Bibhavananda Chaudhary, Girijananda Chaudhary. Then let me come to another name, Ramjivan Sinha De. Ramjivan Sinha De. It is in chronological order. Ramjivan Sinha De, one of the important dwellers of Guwahati. Ramjivan Sinha De. He migrated from Sylhet. It was in search of a job that he came to Guwahati and settled there near Ugratara temple. He practiced music, classical music. He practiced music, and it was because of his proficiency in music that Kesab Sinha employed him as a music teacher of his children. And we all know that Kesab Sinha's daughter, one of his children, was Prafullavala Devi Chaudhary. So this gentleman also may have taught Prafullavala classical music. Ram Jivan Sinha De. He is the father of Gopal Krishna De. Gopal Krishna De, a very important personality. We owe him so much. He was the librarian of the Curzon Hall Library. It was because of he was a private tutor to Nolini Baladevi. It was because of him that we had this memorial built of Hemchandra Borua. In Siddhinath Sharma's house, there is the memorial, Hemchandra Borua. It was at the initiative of Gopal Krishna De that it was possible. So both of them, Ram Jivan Sinha De, father of Gopal Krishna De, Lakshmi Ram Borua, Sangita Sajja Lakshmi Ram Borua. Actually, at one time, Guwahati was full of music. Guwahati, and when Gunin Oza was singing, I remembered the music of Guwahati. And I'll just give you some examples. If someone can show this slide, slide number 15. 15. 1-5. This is a very important song for most of us. Slide 15, Abahon. Abahon. I think you won't be able to see all this. I got it typed the other day. The image was so bad, low resolution image, but then I got it newly typed. Even then, it is not very legible. I'll just read out the first lines. It was on the 27th of May, 1901 that Cotton College was established. The Chief Commissioner, Henry Cotton, was there in the meeting. It was attended by Manik Chandra Borua and Prabhat Chandra Rai Bahadur of Dhubri. Raghunath Chaudhary Koka sang this song. Nobin Chandra Bordole on the harmonium. Just think of it. Raghunath Chaudhary singing the inaugural song. Nobin Chandra Bordole on the harmonium. So this is the song. Abahon. It's a very long poem, some 2 pages long. I wonder how he could manage to sing it in some 15 minutes or so. Aji Huprabhate Nobo Onurage. This is a new morning. Cotton College was established after all. Aji Huprabhate Nobo Onurage Ranjita Prokriti Rani. Aparthibo Sneh Bitorise Aha Korunar Sobikhoni. Uhar Rohan Hona Dugalot Balarko Hinduro Bhale. Povitra Bhavot Pran Mugdha Hoy Sorgyo Drishyoti Sale. Uhar Rohan Hona Dugalot Balarko Hinduro Bhale. Balarko Hinduro Bhale. Balarko Hinduro Balarko Sinduro Bunda Bhalo. Balarko Sinduro Bunda Bhalo. Where are they from? Where are they from? This is from Mia Tansen's lyric. Mia Tansen. So Mia Tansen has now come to Cotton College. Mia Tansen's lyric. Balarko Sinduro. Balarko is the young son. Balarko Sinduro. Sinduro is vermilion spot. Vermilion. Balarko Sinduro Bunda. Bunda is pats of vermilion. On the forehead. Morning with its pats of vermilion on the forehead. So this is unmistakably Mia Tansen of Akbar's court. This was earlier published in Ramlal Moitra's Drupad Bhajanavali, published in 1913, the year Tagore got the Nobel Prize for Literature. Ramlal Moitra Drupad Bhajanavali, 1913. This poem is Ragini Lolita, Tal Chotal. Actually, the name of the first line of the poem is Gagana Mandala Madhya. So I wonder how Raghunath Chaudhary appropriated these 3 lines, three words from the poem by Mia Tansen. It was first Ramlal Moitra who included this. Ramlal Moitra was an important lawyer of Calcutta who was interested in music. He brought out this Drupad Bhajanavali in 1913, which was full of all sorts of mistakes. It was later in the 30s that Suniti Kumar Chatterjee had amended the text, and he cleared some of the mistakes, and he published this paper on Tansen as a musician in the Prafulla Chandra Rai commemoration volume, published in the 30s. So these are the only texts where you find Mia Tansen's lyric that Raghunath Chaudhary Koka had appropriated. So insofar as the music of the century is concerned, the first part of Guwahati, this was 27 May 1901, Balar ko Sindhuro Bhale. Then number 2, Prafulla Borua, son of Sangita Sajja Lokhiram Borua, singing Gose Gose Pati Dile Phulore Horai in the 1924 session of Assam Sahitya Sabha in the Lota Hill field. So Jyoti Prasad Agarwala was there. He had all sorts of misgivings about the people's response. So he was hiding himself under a tree in Bishnuram Medi's campus. Prafulla Chandra Borua sang this, Gose Gose Pati Dile Phulore Horai. And there was a huge crowd, not only to see Lakshmanath Bes Borua, who was the president of the session, but also those who came to enjoy the cultural function. This is number 2. The number 3 is 1926 December Congress session. Aji Bondu Kisonder Homagoto Birato Noro Narayana Rupo. This is Ambika Giri Rai Chaudhuri on the harmonium. The others were Umesh Chandra Chaudhuri, Padmanath Cholia, Puspalata Das, and others. Oh, wonderful. This is the third song I can recall. Ambika Giri Rai Chaudhuri, Prafulla Borua, Padmanath Cholia, Umesh Chaudhuri, Puspalata Das. Then number 4, it was in the early 30s that Jyoti Prasad Agarwala was felicitated on his return from Germany at the Bhaskar Natya Mandir. The meeting was presided over by Nobin Chandra Bordole. So earlier, Jyoti Prasad Agarwala gave a very brilliant lecture on the distinction between Western music and Eastern music. He said that Eastern music is based on melody, Western music is based on harmony and all that. So the distinction between melody and harmony and all that. Later in the presidential remarks, Nobin Chandra Bordole said that Jyoti Bopa has said nice things about Eastern music and Western music, particularly Western music, but our music is also, our music also has its own greatness. And he started singing, Pase Trinoyono Dibbo Upobono Dekhilonto Biddhamano. These lines from Shankardeva's Harmohan. And he had a wonderful voice, according to all reports. Nobin Chandra Bordole singing, Pase Trinoyono Dibbo Upobono Dekhilonto Biddhamano. Then number 5, this 1946, when Mahatma Gandhi came in his last visit to Guwahati, 1946, the Jubilee Field meeting, where Sudakshina Sharma sang this E Joy Raghura Nandana. E Joy Raghura Nandana, He Raghava, Rame Joy Raghura Nandana. Not many people know that this was Jiveshwar Goswami's composition. Jiveshwar Goswami of Shillong. But then it was Bishnu Prasad Rava who taught this song to Sudakshina Sharma. So Gandhiji sent message to Gopinath Bordole that he would love to listen to an Assamese bhajan. So one day Gopinath Bordole, accompanied by Surya Kumar Bhuya, came to young Sudakshina Sharma's house and requested her to present a bhajan, and she sang this. It was taught to her by Bishnu Prasad Rava. E Joy Raghura Nandana. Wonderful. This was, this Mahatma Gandhi is there before you. And you have seen his feet. Devara Durlabha Pada Dekhilu Tumari. E Joy Raghura Nandana. So he was immediately compared to Rama. This is Avatar, Rama. And then Devara Durlabha Pada Dekhilu Tumari. E Joy Raghura Nandana. Wonderful. And it was in that tradition that we have a poem by Atul Chandra Hazarika. This is perhaps one of the finest poems on Mahatma Gandhi in any Indian language. Amar Bapuji Manu Nasil Nararupi Bhagavan. Amar Bapuji Manu Nasil Nararupi Bhagavan. Gute Bishoy Homosore Jar Gaise Bandona Gan. Ahisil Tao Hikaba Amak Sorgio Premor Bani. Purno Sadhinata Janmagata Satya Loboi Lagibo Mani. Daporer সেই সুদৰ্শন চক্ৰ ঘূৰালে যতৰ কৰি পতিতক তেওঁ অমৃত বিলালে বুকুত হাবতি ধৰি আঠুৰ মূৰত চুৰিয়া পিন্ধিলে নথা ফকীৰ হৈ ৰাজ সিংহাসন ভৰিলে ঠেলিলে মিচিকি হাঁহিটি লৈ অহিংসাৰে তেওঁ হিংসাক খেদিলে দেখালে পুণ্যৰ বাট নোৱাখালী আৰু বিহাৰত গৈ পাতিলে প্ৰেমৰ হাত মনোৰম বুলি আই অসমক বিলালে মৰম প্ৰীতি বাপুজী আমাৰ অতি আপোনাৰ আপোনো আপোন অতি সত্যাগ্ৰহী হৈ কাৰাবাস খাটি জীৱন কৰিলে পাত গীতা বাইবেল কোৰাণ মিলাই গঢ়িলে মানুহজাত ইট ইজ মাছ ইন দ্য ছেইম ট্ৰেডিশ্যন গান্ধীজী compared to Lord Rama. So this Jiveswar Goswami composition, Ejoy Raghuranandana, Devoro Dullabha Pada Dekhilu Tumari. You have access to the feet of the Mahatma. Great. So it is a city consecrated by the Mahatma. So I now come to some other personalities. Mathura Mohan Borua, he established Victoria Press, then brought out bilingual journal. First it was a Bengali journal, Assam Mihir, 1872-1873. Then he brought out Advocate of Assam. Assam Mihir, actually in one of the articles published in the Bangyo Sahitya Parishad journal, it was Padmanath Vidyabinod, who said that he was very close to the Bengalis of the time. Bangalir Bondhu, Chidananda Chaudhary, Mathura Mohan Borua. Mathura Mohan Borua, he brought out Assam Mihir, which later became a bilingual paper, then Advocate of Assam. Most of us know his two children, Subha Borua and Subhash Chandra Borua and Tarini Chandra Borua, who was the minister. Now I come to, I wanted to say something about some of the remarkable women of the past. Rajabala Das, Nolini Bala Devi, Prafulla Bala Devi Chodharani, Indira Miri. Indira Miri, who was fluent and proficient in several languages. English, Sanskrit, Bengali, Hindi, remarkable kind of command over these languages. And in one of Preeti Borua's articles, I found this interesting kind of information that after Pushpalata Das passed away, there was a meeting held in the Brahma Sabha's house here, and Indira Miri Baido gave a remarkable speech in Sanskrit that one who was not there will find it very difficult to even understand that Sanskrit could be so mellifluous. And Indira Miri, that was Indira Miri, a remarkable lady. Then Amal Prabha Das. So you have Guwahati synonymous with these characters, Amal Prabha Das. Amal Prabha Das, who didn't get admission here in Cotton College because it was before 1929. That's why she went to Calcutta, graduated with chemistry honors, did MSc in chemistry. Here came back as a Gandhian worker. She was also associated with the Kosturuba Trust. And in some of Gandhiji's writings, we have references to either Amal Prabha Das or Dr. Hari Krishna Das's daughter. She is referred to as Dr. Hari Krishna Das's daughter. So Hari Krishna Das was one of the most important persons. In fact, today this Oza presented this song. There was this Borpetia Para here. Dr. Hari Krishna Das, Ambikagiri Rai Chaudhary, down to even Siddhananda Das, all great men and women. Amal Prabha Das. Okay, the kind of sacrifice made by this family. So he was a very wealthy man, Hari Krishna Das. He was a civil surgeon, Guwahati. Landed property he had. He donated everything. I think 60 bighas of land or 70 bighas of land for Congress works. Gandhiji, Kosturuba Trust. And this, when Mahatma Gandhi came, he played a host to Gandhiji, Saranya Hill. So he had this cottage built for Gandhiji's stay, Hari Krishna Das. So I now come to another person whom most of us do not know anything about. We all talk about the first batch of matriculates from Cotton Collegiate School, 1864. 1864 is important for all of us because it was the year Lokinath Bezborua was born. And these boys matriculated. Anandaram Borua, Jalnur Ali Ahmed, Madhav Chandra Bordoloi, Sibram Bora. So they are 1864 matriculates. We don't know anything about Sekhaut Ali. Sekhaut Ali is one of the most important persons of the time. So I have some images of some of Sekhaut Ali's books. If someone can show them to us. Sekhaut Ali's slides 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 slides. Now, 4 important works by Munshi Sekhaut Ali, 4th teacher mathematics of Guwahati Zilla School. It was at the time called Guwahati Zilla School, later Cotton College School. Number 1, Ohomia Bhahar Khetra Jamiti, Euclid's Elements of Geometry in Assamese, book 1, 1881. Then number 2, Ganit Pustak, 1883. Number 3, Ohomia Padartha Vidya, 1883. And finally, Paramartha Darpan, 1916. These important textbooks, mathematics, physics, geometry. Then finally, Paramartha Darpan. And Paramartha Darpan was prescribed as a textbook for BA students in Calcutta University in the 30s and the 40s, up till the 50s. And we have to salute the syllabus makers. There was one paper of Assamese prose. So right from Bhattadeva down to Banikanto Kakoti. First Bhattadeva, Assamese prose after all. Then Miri Ziori, Rajanikanto Bordoloi. Then number 3, Kipapor Borua, Kakotor Topola, Lokinath Bezborua. Then all of a sudden, Sekhaut Ali, Paramartha Darpan. And finally, Banikanto Kakoti. So this is the canon, Assamese prose. Bhattadeva through Sekhaut Ali to Banikanto Kakoti, Sekhaut Ali. There is one whole paragraph devoted to a description of Sekhaut Ali in Lokinath Bezborua's autobiography. You know, Lokinath Bezborua was not a person. He was very young at the time, I think class 4 or 5. His father got transferred from Lakhimpur to Guwahati, and at the time, young Lokinath Bezborua, a child Lokinath Bezborua, I think he was in the 4th or the 5th standard. He was admitted there in Cotton Collegiate School. Everyone was terribly afraid of Sekhaut Ali. Stern headmaster, teaching mathematics, and maybe, okay, no smile. He stood at a right angle to the universe. No left or right. He didn't look either left or right. Straight, stern. And I think some kind of physical punishment also was there that is suggested by Lokinath Bezborua. There is one whole paragraph. But then towards the end of the paragraph, he said that he was such a stern kind of person. তেওঁৰ শ্ৰেণীটো আমাৰ কাৰণে আনন্দালয় নহয় জমালয় যেন হৈছিল আনন্দালয় নহয় জমালয় যেন হৈছিল So it was not at all a pleasure for us to be there in his classes. Then there is one whole paragraph devoted to Bezborua's memories of his teacher Sekhaut Ali. His textbooks, etc., geometry, physics, arithmetic, point not only to the author's ability to drive home to the students issues hardly, if ever, discussed earlier in Assamese books in print till then. Okay, writing a book on geometry or mathematics or physics, you must have the terms physiology. So he did it. And Paramartha Darpan is a total different kind of book. It's on religion, on the importance of religion. Paramartha Darpan. Yeah, it is theosophian or philosophy. And as I suggested, we must salute the syllabus makers of the time. That was included as a textbook for BA students, also MA students. So they point not only to certain, the extraordinary malleability of the Assamese language to express new ideas in a clear, distinct, and lucid manner. And it was in the year 2019 that we had to celebrate the centenary of Assamese studies in Calcutta University. It was in 1919 that Assamese was introduced as a subject for the university students. So as such, we had to celebrate it for various reasons. We couldn't perhaps celebrate it properly. We should at least take note of the contribution of a teacher, as I said, Rameshwar Borua. So Rameshwar Borua is one person we must take note of. And Rameshwar Borua's slide was also there. I think it would not be possible for us to do it now. So music, Guwahati education, culture and all that, Guwahati, Mia Tansen, Guwahati, Prafullawala Chodurani, women's liberation, okay, forefront of women's liberation. She was an extraordinary kind of lady. And according to Benudhar Rajkhua's wife, okay, that was a remarkable speech and eliciting different types of reaction. Obviously, there will be different types of reaction. Someone would be for her, someone would be against her. After all, it was held in Jorhat Government School, the second session of the Ahom Mohila, Pradeshik Mohila Hamiti meeting. Anyway, finally, okay, remembering Amitabh, I must call it a day, but if I would be very glad to take one or two questions, if any. Yeah, just one or two questions, whether it would be possible for me to answer your questions or not, but then, okay, it would be fun, interaction. And actually, when I got this order from Ulubari to give this speech, I spent time in thinking of a title, all sorts of titles I could think of. Faces. Face is a word we come across. Face is a word that has also been philosophized in the 20th century. Face. So whenever you think of Guwahati, you think of different faces. You hear footfalls of people. Face of an Amal Prabha Das, for example. When you think of a person like Amal Prabha Das or an extraordinary personality like Ambika Giri Rai Chaudhuri. Now it was Priti Borua Baido who once told me that Ambika Giri Rai Chaudhuri was in the habit of visiting different places. He would come to just every Cotton College hostel, and finally he would go to Cotton College Girls Hostel, line up the students, and he would ask them, okay, tonte lasitor jonmo diba parbi na nora? And actually he had his walking stick, and the students were so afraid that finally one said, parim. Otherwise, okay, he would not be satisfied. So he was interested in the production of Lasit Borfukons. So I would like to take some questions. Okay, some kind of interaction would be in order. Yeah, please. It is Moyur.
It's really kept us spellbound for the last 2 hours. I don't know, there is some audio disturbance in between, but I think you overpoured everything with an eloquent and beautiful speech. I just want to have your opinion on two issues. One, you mentioned about Gopal Krishna De, the tutor to Nolini Bala Devi, and what he has done for Hemchandra Borua's bust in Ujan Bazar. But I think he was very brutally assassinated in the city of Guwahati. I just want to know the details of that, if possible. Secondly, I just want to know, you mentioned also about Joggoram Kharghoria Phukons. He was a wealthy man, a man of interesting dispensation in his personality. And he also contributed 1,000 rupees for a school that we studied, Guwahati Seminary at that point of time, now known as Cotton Collegiate High School. But Hemchandra Goswami, possibly in his Rasanavali, you will find, he has attributed some motive which is not very uncommon, because corruption has been there even earlier days. Arthashastra of Kautilya has also recognized that. But Hemchandra Goswami probably also hinted at that some of the money contributed by Jagoram Khargoria Fukan for establishment of Cotton College School or Guwahati Seminary at that point of time might have originated from some questionable sources. So I'd love to have your opinion on that murder of Gopal Krishna De and Jagoram Khargoria Fukan's contribution to Guwahati Seminary.
Thank you so much.
Again, once again, what a beautiful lecture you have given. Thank you. You have made our evening beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Two things, maybe, I don't know, this is just a kind of conjecture. The Assamese-Bengali kind of conflict could be one reason why he was so brutally murdered. I don't know, because details are not available here. And he was such a simple kind of person, mild, simple, a devoted teacher. Why should he be murdered? And he was such a devoted librarian of Curzon Hall Library, did so much for the Assamese language. He was in love with Assamese language. One reason why, okay, no one thought of erecting a memorial for Hemchandra Barua. It was Gopal Krishna De who initiated the process and finally had the memorial built. And insofar as Jagoram Khargoria Fukan is concerned, thank you, Mayur, for this question. Okay, that could be there, but he was a remarkable personality. Number one, Francis Jenkins always depended on him for all sorts of things relating to Assam, particularly the Ahom region of Assam, the Upper Assam, for example. And Francis Jenkins was interested in getting some Ahom texts translated into English. And he had to approach Jagoram Khargoria Fukan. Jagoram Khargoria Fukan mastered the language. I have the document with me. He mastered, he went to Jorhat, stayed there for a long time, nearly mastered Thai language, got the whole thing translated into English. So these things are there. And number two, it was because of him that we have the name Holiram Dhekial Fukan's Assam Buronji everywhere. So everyone now knows Holiram Dhekial Fukan's Assam Buronji. Assam Buronji published in 1829. All sorts of things are there about Assamese people. The Assamese people are very fond of chewing betel nut and all that. They are very dirty. They are interested, even Assamese women, also the women of the upper classes. They are also, they are fond of weaving. Weaving was not considered a good thing then. So all these are there. And another observation I would like to make, we are talking about all these great men. And as I started talking about them, I remembered some of my own lectures here in U2 and U9. There is a poem by Stephen Spender. I think continually of those who were truly great. I think continually of those who were truly great, who from their womb remembered the soul's history through corridors of lights where the suns, so on and so forth. Anyway, some of them were so great people. Even Jagoram Khargoria Fukan. Just think of him offering 1,000 rupees for the construction of the school. Then his mastery over different languages. So his interactions with the powers that be, and his proficiency in different languages. Brahmo Samaj, for example. I suppose he was one of the pioneers in the entire state. He was a Brahmo. He was a Brahmo close to Ram Mohan Rai. There is no other person so close to Ram Mohan Rai. He spent as many as 2 years with Ram Mohan Rai, attending his prayer meetings. So he must have also had some proficiency in Brahmo theology as well. So he was one of the pioneers here. And Brahmo movement, it is one of the most important social movements in the 19th century. So insofar as your first question is concerned, okay, some conjectures can be made. The Assamese-Bengali kind of conflict. And this leads me to another issue. We now talk about, some of us talk about William Robinson and others. He said all sorts of nasty things about Assamese language. Even Hopkinson, for example, Hopkinson said that the Municipal Act cannot be introduced here in Guwahati because Guwahati population consists only of some officers and their butlers and followers. Butlers, so he used the word butlers and followers. Butlers and followers of these officers, British officers. So it is no use introducing the Municipal Act. But it was the same Hopkinson who also praised Anandaram Dhekial Fukan as someone greater than even Ram Mohan Rai. So in one of his official intimations, he praised Anandaram Dhaikyal Phukan in superlative terms. I didn't have occasion to refer to the importance of an Anandaram Dhaikyal Phukan. Finally, I would say that he was one person who was also a founder member of the Bethune Society. Bethune Society was one of the most important societies of colonial Calcutta. He was one of the 4 important members. The other important members, the others are great in their own ways. 4 important members. And whatever he had done for the Assamese language, his petition to Mills, or for example, his work on the Assamese language, okay, all this, Anandaram Dhaikyal Phukan, everyone, Padmavati Devi Phukan, and Anandaram Dhaikyal Phukan, this Borolomok line. So finally, I would say that, okay, civilization started here, modern civilization, modernity started here at Borolomok. And Borolomok has given us all sorts of people, down to even Rohini Chaudhuri, Holiram Deka. I think the day before yesterday, Holiram Deka's statue was launched there. I think yesterday or the day before, we got the report. Holiram Deka was also there. You think of all sorts of legal luminaries, like from Holiram Deka down to Kiran Moilahiri. All sorts of great people are there, great people were there. Men of formidable intellect like Hirana Chandra Bhuya, great writers like Birinchi Kumar Burwa, we never talk about now. Great writer, and Jivana Batat is an all-time classic. Great poets like Raghunath Chaudhuri, Ambika Giri Rai Chaudhuri, okay, this is a list which is endless. I don't know whether I could answer Mayur's question. Yeah. So another question, please, yes.
Very clearly and loudly said that Mughals had ruled Guwahati for 26 years.
Yeah.
Can I get the reference of that?
Hujo Kumar Bhuya, Anglo-Assamese Relations. Yeah. The dates are clearly mentioned. It was for as many as 26 years. So it is no use saying, Kionu Pahora Homia Hera, Sirokal Tumi Asila Sat in 26 years. Under the Burmese also, you had to, under Mingi Mahabondula, you had to be there for a couple of years maybe, till the British came here. Okay, yet another interface. Yes, please.
Rajida, thank you for the wonderful talk. I was wondering if you could throw some light on when did town planning in the actual sense begin in Guwahati. I am not talking of the time when the Ahom generals built up the battlements, etc. But after that, and not excluding the judges' residences and judges' field, etc. Did really any sensible, long-term, far-sighted town planning for this city of the East ever really start at Guwahati any time?
This is a very interesting question. By way of answering your question, I would just refer to that report by Hopkinson. That Hopkinson said that Guwahati is not fit for the Municipal Act, town planning and all that, irrelevant, because the population consists only of butlers and followers of the English officers. But then Calcutta didn't accept his version. He said that, okay, still you try. Because he was a very snooty type of character, Hopkinson. Although he said, at times he said some nice things about Assam or Anandaram Dhaikyal Phukan. Otherwise, about Assamese language, he said all sorts of nasty things. He said it remains a petoy of Bengali and so on and so forth. So I think town planning as such started in the 70s. I don't know. But then some constructions were already made. For example, as I said, Bogle had built that house, which has now been converted into the River Heritage Center and all that. But you will have to give me some more time to think of this issue, town planning. I think someone else would be able to enlighten us here. Town planning as such. It's a very interesting kind of question. Another, please, please, please. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ah. Not second lecture. 5 other lectures would be necessary. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so many things were left out. Okay, first I thought that, it was very arbitrarily chosen, a topic very arbitrarily chosen, and okay, this was a very ambitious kind of project. Guwahati down the ages. Guwahati with its 3 components, Pragjyotispur, okay, the mythopoetic kind of thing. Then you can think of Bhaskar Burman, or even Ambari excavations. We now no longer talk about the Ambari excavation. They yielded so many things, so many artifacts. And one person, he was Dr. Chaudhary, Robindev Chaudhary, he suggested that that could have been a kind of factory, I don't know. And Digholi tank was used to transport them to other places. These artifacts were transported through Digholi tank. Okay, Digholi had its connection with the river. So I think there should be a whole book on the Ambari excavations. One whole civilization we'll be able to see. And the other day, one of my friends said that, sir, you talk about Calcutta, you talk about Job Sarnock, would you be able to say who founded Guwahati? It would not be possible for us to say. Yes, in Kolkata, you say it was Job Sarnock. That was a one-man show. But Guwahati is a kind of togetherness. It is another thing that Parashuram Barua settled here. And he was such a wealthy man, okay, with Murshidabad connection and all that, Hadira Soki and all that. And I forgot to tell you one thing. Okay, all these orphans adopted by Lakshminarayan Brahmachari, even Ranaram Barua, Gunaviram Barua's father Ranaram Barua, went to Benares and established one Shiva temple there. That is still there. It is called Kamrup Moth. Kamrup, there in Google, there is the image of the Kamrup Moth. Ranaram Barua went there. So very interesting personalities, and I must thank you for drawing my attention to the absence of the subalterns there. Maybe in some other lectures it would be possible for us to do it. Thank you so much for so patiently listening to me. Thank you indeed.
We are grateful to Professor Ranjit Kumar Devagoswami for delivering this prolific lecture. We have compiled the collection of the last 18 lectures in the form of a book, which we have named The Healer of Heart. May I request the dignitaries present on the dais to release the commemorative volume. We have named this commemorative volume Amitabh. The foreword for this has been provided to us by Sri Gopal Krishna Gandhi, who had delivered the 8th lecture in memory of my brother. He had all the 18 lectures are there in this commemorative volume. The The presidential address and vote of thanks shall now be delivered by our trustee, Justice Hirendranath Sharma.
In fact, this is a foreign burden on me because our president, Jotin Hazarika, due to old age ailment, he has not been able to come over here, and hence I had to take the burden of offering the vote of thanks. The vote of thanks, presidential address and vote of thanks. The presidential address, after such type of lectures, there is a little to be given. But in fact, in the commemoration of whose this lecture is arranged, the Dr. Amitav Chaudhuri, he came to this universe on December 1969, on this day in the year 1969, and he left this world, left this universe in a tragic road accident on September 10, 2003. And since 2004, the trust is organizing a series of lectures. This is from I got him, my association with Amitav was for about 28 years, while he was a child of about 6 years or 5 years. From his early childhood, he was full of magnanimity and concern for the people around him. Humility, integrity, and absence of deceit, uprightness, purity of mind, and steadfastness were his companion. He was a cardiovascular surgeon, cardiothoracic vascular surgeon, and in that capacity, during his short span of life, he served a huge number of patients who still remember him. And to keep alive the humanitarianism, the trust was formed. The mission of the trust is to continuation of the trust is spreading the knowledge and awareness about the contemporary issues, because an informed and well-aware society is an essential component of a democratic polity. And with the current problem of the society, with the current is to be made aware to the people, and the trust is making that humble effort with that end in view by arranging these lectures. First lecture was given by Honorable Justice Mr. V.K. Krishna Iyer, the leading jurist of the country, who needs no explanation, introduction. And that about several other dignitaries also have addressed this on this occasion. So this is the whole idea of the trust, and with that ending, with all your support, we are continuing these 19th lectures. So this is what is the aim, and that about the trust is also organizing some other works, such as a library, a medical library has been renovated and done in the Guwahati Medical College, and wherein the updated books and updated books on the subject, various subjects, have been provided to the students of the medical college, and we are told that is one of the most used library by the students, and a most sought after library. And that apart, this trust has also organized this cardiac treatment camp. Then that was also attended by a huge number of persons. In this fashion, the trust is continuing its service all throughout, and with your hope, with your assistance, aid, and support, we are continuing. So this is so far as the And other things regarding the thing, that already has spoken Bernali in a welcome address, and Justice Chaudhary in his address also. So this is what the presidential address. And so far the vote of thanks is concerned, I offer my vote of thanks firstly to our guest speaker, Dr. Ranjit Kumar Goswami, who, in spite of his busy schedule, has readily accepted our request to deliver a lecture. Mr. Goswami has given an erudite lectures on the subject and disclosed and stated and made known to us something hitherto unknown about the Guwahati and its past and the present state. I offer my congratulations, offer my vote of thanks to Dr. Goswami. I offer my vote of thanks to our President Jotin Hazarika, also, who is, though physically not present, he is enjoying this lecture from his home on virtually. And secondly, I offer my vote of thanks on behalf of the trust to Dilip Kumar Hazarika, Senior Advocate, who is all throughout supporting the activities of the trust and was very much guided and helped us in so many aspects. And the vote of thanks is also offered to the management of the Cotton University, its Vice Chancellor, Registrar of the university. I offer my vote of thanks on behalf of the trust to Gunin Oja and his team for delivering this, for the brigade which is presented by him in a very, to make this situation enlightened. And I offer my vote of thanks to press, both media, print and electronic. Then I offer my vote of thanks also to Utpal Barua, UB Photos and his team. Then secondly, the Chandan Singh, I offer my vote of thanks to Chandan Singh Borkagati, Vikram Singh Deo, and who are the friends of Amitabh and teachers of the Amitabh who are also present here. I offer my vote of thanks to Shahnaz Rahman and Tamal Dey and Jayanta Kumar Ghosh, who has also offered, who also rendered a human service in keeping this meeting successful. So I offering the vote of thanks to all of you, the gentlemen and ladies who are present here, leaving their valuable works at home. I offer a vote of thanks to Justice N. Kateshwar Singh, Mrs. Suman Sham, Justice Ajit Bhartakur, Justice Sanjay Medhi, who, as we know, that during the Monday of the week, the first day of the week, how busy they are to in their official library or court library. So I offer, instead of leaving those jobs, they have attended this meeting, and we offer vote of thanks to them also. So with this, I conclude my speech. There is a little declaration that there is an arrangement for light refreshment outside. Just have it, enjoy it. Thank you all.
Grateful, ladies and gentlemen. The meeting draws to a close.